Hello, hello, and welcome to my thought on this very interesting Sunday. I've been thinking a lot about fears because I think that most of them are illogical. Well, one of the interesting ones is claustrophobia, people that are afraid of being confined into a small space. And I remember when I was a little girl, because I was very, very little, and I would go to my father's office and then he would take me home. And if I was downtown in Toledo, and this is when I was very little, I would go to my father's office, and I think my mother would leave me there, and Daddy would take me home when he finished. And Daddy would put me in the elevator at 5 o'clock when all the business people were leaving their offices, and I barely came up to their knee. And I remember being crowded in there and thinking I was going to suffocate, I was going to die, um, with all the big people up there, and I was being hit in the head with a bunch of briefcases. But it reminds me of an incident that happened when I was my father's secretary. I was grown up, I was my father's secretary, and among the many things that I had to do, um, I was in charge of the elevator. And anyone that knows me knows that I am without doubt the most non mechanical, that there is no way I can't. For example, if I get anything from IKEA, there's no way I can put things together. What is it? My friend Dan says, if I try to put it together, there are always parts left over. There's absolutely so completely non mechanical and also not very organized. But I was in charge of the elevator. And in the elevator, there was a sign and it said, if anything happens, call Lynn Ruth, with the number of in my father's office, because we didn't have cell phones then. We didn't have cell phones. So it was the telephone number of my father's office. And I was there for, over a year, and nothing happened. But then one day, I got a call. Then the call said, hello, I'm Mr. Sharkey. I'm stuck between the second and third floor. And I thought, oh my God, what do I do? I mean, I certainly can't fix it. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. So I said to him, do you have a good book? And he said, yes. And I said, well, start reading it and I'll see what I can do. So I called, I must have called 20 phone numbers. And finally we got somebody to come up and fix the elevator and get him out of the elevator. And he came up to see me after. He was just a tiny little man. And he was just a tiny little man stuck in that elevator. But thank goodness he was the only one in there, so he didn't get claustrophobia. But speaking of my difficulty in fixing things, I've always felt that it hampered me, especially because I've lived alone and I really can't fix things. I can't put things in things. I just can't do anything. And I'm reminded of when I became house manager of our sorority. And for someone who's so completely disorganized, it's absolutely ridiculous for me to be house manager because there's no way I'm going to be able to figure out how to manage a house. I can't manage my own life, but I was house manager, and you got to wear a little house manager symbol on your sorority pin. It was a very big deal. And I said to the former house manager, I don't think I can do this. I really don't think I can do this. And she said, why? I said, well, because I don't know how to fix things. I don't know how to call and make things happen. I'm not very efficient. She said, oh, it's easy. I'll show you. I said, well, what do you mean? I said, what would happen if, for example, the toilet backed up? What was I supposed to do? I was supposed to take a plunger? What am I supposed to do? And she said, no, no, no. She said, that's easy. That's one of the easy things to do. She said, look, I'll show you. And she went to her desk and she wrote something on a piece of paper and she said, come with me. And we went into the group toilet for the sorority, which had several stalls in it. And she said, say that one isn't working. She said, this is what you do. And she pasted a sign on it that said, out of order. And I thought, gee, that's really a good way to fix things. But now when I fix things, I have discovered tape and glue, and I've become a master fixer. And I am fortunately not claustrophobic and not afraid of closed spaces. So this is my little ramble about people's irrational fears, and thank you so much for joining me for my thought on this Irrational Sunday.